Hello everyone and welcome to another YouTube video. So the job for today was a bit of ploughing. I started on this last night with my Fiscus 4-furrow plough, and I really like this plough. It's a real good plough. However, I wasn't getting on with it at all, and the main reason for that is these skimmers. I think I was trying to bury this stuff here, which isn't so bad. There's not much stuff on surface, but it is really hard. It's a real hard job to get this to bury and do a tidy job. It's hard, it's solidly hard. We haven't had any significant genuine rain for months, I think, and I ended up unfortunately bending the skimmer. If you know your ploughs, you'll know that these skimmers here are genuine Cavernland ones, whereas the leg that holds them in place are Fiscus. I really like these skimmers. These do a real good job. They're nice and adjustable. They're heavy duty enough to cope with it. But what isn't heavy duty enough to cope with it is the leg. So we managed to bend this. So come the winter, I feel there's a little bit of an engineering project on. We're going to take this back to the workshop and sort this out. I wasn't happy to carry on ploughing with this. This wasn't doing the right job. So we cracked out plan B, which is this big old girl. Brilliant. 1490's having a rest because what we've cracked out is the 2290. The Case 2290, a great big American powerhouse lump of a donkey of a thing. What an absolute machine this is. We're ploughing with this with the Dowdeswell DP8B 5-furrow, and we're not doing too bad a job. It's not so bad at all, to be truthful. So the story behind this thing is, back in the 80s, my father bought one of these to go on the forage harvester. Now, if you can think of me as a primary school child, I was absolutely in my element. This is a big old lump of a tractor today, but back in the 80s, it was an absolute monster. My dad bought it. We put it on the forage harvester and little bits and bobs otherwise. And eventually, when my dad decided he'd had enough of forage harvesting, the reign of the self-propelled were coming along, and he said, no, that'll do, that's enough. So he sold the forager, and this went with it. Well, not this actual one, but the very same thing went with it, much to the disgust, much to the absolute disgust of a 10-year-old Emir. I thought, that's it. And me and the old man had a serious fallout about that for a long time. And one day I was sat looking at Facebook, and what turned up but this. And this isn't our actual one, but I couldn't resist it and I bought it. So all these years later, I've ended up with a 2290, and then what I did, I went out and bought myself this Dowdeswell DP8B to go behind it, this great big 5-furrow thing. And it goes behind that. This doesn't even know it's there. It does struggle. Those of you that watch me on TikTok will know I bought a different plough for this, but this bloody thing won't lift it. However, in terms of traction and pulling, it doesn't even know it's there. It just ticks along, trundles along, going like a train. Absolutely no issues. So what we're doing today, because believe it or not, in September it's still pretty hard, I've come here with the Dowdeswell plough and we put that in the ground, and we're not doing too bad a job. I mean, it's not too deep, it's burying, it's out the way. As I say, we're ploughing about 5-6 at a push inches deep, which is plenty for what we want in this part of the world. And we're going on with this. Personally, I'd rather not bring this to fields like this because I like to have some discs when I'm ploughing some grassland like this. However, we are where we are because, believe it or not, we're virtually in October and I can't get the bloody plough in the ground. It's that hard. It's absolutely bonkers. But that's where we are. So this thing is a Dowdeswell DP8B. It is a 3+1+1, which makes it a 5, as you'd expect. As I say, this thing doesn't know it's there, and it just runs down the furrow with it. It has no idea it's there. It pulls it like a great big Clydesdale Shire horse. We're doing, as I say, we're not ploughing too deep, I hope. We're just turning it over nicely. The skimmers are working. There's nothing much showing in the middle. so we're okay. So it's strange that everything happens for a reason. I bought this because I wanted the nostalgia and something to play with, thinking about what my dad used to get up to with the forage harvester and the like. And I thought when I bought it, what the hell am I buying this for? I'm never going to have any use for this. And to be truthful, that's why my father sold his back in the day, because the kit he had was made for 60, 70, 80, 100 horsepower, not for this great big 140 horsepower tractor. So what have we got here? Obviously we've got four-wheel drive, so we've got a Carraro four-wheel drive unit. We've got, let me point, there we are. We've got a 140 horsepower engine. We've got a 12 by 3 power shift gearbox, and we have got a smidge of hydraulic arms and hydraulics at the back. Because this is a great big American lump made for traction back in the late 70s, early 80s, the hydraulics aren't the strongest of things. And something like this, as I've learned to my cost in recent times, is about as heavy as you'd want to be on the back of this. However, sitting in there on a day like this, doing a little bit of ploughing, I've got a chunky smile on my face. Brilliant, isn't it? So that's it. We're home and we're finished for the day. We've finished that field as it's getting dark. Brilliant timing. I can go home and have my tea now. I did want to show you more of this tractor and this plough combination in this video. However, I simply haven't had chance. The pressure was against me a little bit today. However, this is my own field, and hopefully in the next week or so I'll be ploughing this. I'll probably end up doing it with this setup, so I'll show you more of it then. Right then, on that happy note, I'm going home for my tea. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye everybody.